Hello, everyone. Well, here we are again. Another West Ham loss, unfortunately, 1-0 to Arsenal away today. So, as always, I'm Chris Ritzik. You can follow me on Twitter, my handle right next to my name. As always, I'm joined by Irish Tommy. How you feeling, mate?
Very frustrated.
Yeah,
Very, very frustrated. We just handed away 3 points
yeah,
in a game we should have had wrapped up long before the finish. Um, we've lost a lot of games this season, uh, mostly deservingly. So we've been very poor and haven't deserved anything out of the game. But that was the exact opposite today.
yep.
We deserved and should have had 3 points comfortably, I might add, and have come away with absolutely nothing. It's a real sickener, to be honest.
Yeah. So for the first time in a while, actually, I was able I'm actually back, obviously back home in Columbus, Ohio. So for the first time in a while, I was able to join up with the E13 at the Pub Mahone. Um, and like I was telling the people there, I'm like, this is a game where Arsenal didn't beat us. The two things that beat us, and one of which we're going to massively explore here in a bit. The only two things that we didn't, or that the only two reasons that we lost are not finishing and VAR.
Yeah, the big thing being our own finishing. Look, we shot ourselves in the foot today. Yes, okay, Arsenal's goal was a VAR decision, but it was a correct one. He was onside. He was onside. I don't have a problem with Arsenal's goal as regards that. Um, it was a fortunate goal for them. Declan Rice, took a foot out to get a block on the shot, and it just looped right up over all of our defenders,
Yep.
straight into the path of Oatsel, who just headed a square ball to Lacazette, who couldn't miss. So they got lucky on their goal with the way the ball just looped over our defenders straight to Oatsel. They got lucky there. So we were unfortunate with the goal we conceded, but we brought it on ourselves. Really, that ought to have been nothing more than a consolation goal for them.
Yeah, I mean that was a match where we definitely were the better team in there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can look at all the stats you want, but we had the most clear-cut chances. We were the best team, bar none, and we just could not finish. I don't know if it was our finishing or a combination of just great goal play by Leno.
It was bad finishing. Sorry, it just was. We can't put this down to, Now I know Leno got man of the match because he did have saves that he needed to make.
I actually didn't see that, but
yeah, I think Leno was given man of the match. Look, we made a fucking hero out of Leno today. Let's be honest. We made a hero out of the guy. That save he made from Antonio's header. Sorry, but Antonio shouldn't have given him a prayer from there.
No.
Shouldn't have given him a prayer to make a save. That was a horrible miss from Antonio. I mean, I'm shit at football. I finished that. That's basic stuff. Heading it back the way it came, away from the keeper, head it down. It's a goal, simple as. Keeper's got no chance. Antonio's not going to sleep very well tonight.
No.
Look, it's deeply frustrating because we were the better team for the entire game. We created chance after chance after chance, and it's not all on Antonio.
No.
He was probably the main culprit, but Haller wasn't far behind.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Both definitely could have better matches beyond just the finishing aspects of it. I mean, I know a lot of guys at the bar. A lot of guys were having issues with Antonio, just his performance today. And when you couple that with not being able to finish like everyone was unable to do, I mean, that just doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't. Look, Antonio has a lot of detractors anyway in the fan base as it is.
Yeah.
Who only, will jump all over him if he has a day like today. Haller will probably get a lot less stick probably because Antonio was the stick out player today who cost us the points really. But yes, this is Bone the Goat. Yeah, and that's another thing I'm going to come on to today, actually.
I'm just
I'm
going
going to come on to
that from now on.
Yeah, look, I've been a Bowen stan for a long time, long before he was a West Ham player.
Yeah.
So not going to change now. We've signed him and he's scored last week and everything. But yeah, I thought one tactical error actually from Moyes, given how Antonio was playing in the second half, I would have actually switched Antonio across to the right wing, where he can still do all his running, he can still get involved in the game, create problems for Arsenal, but won't necessarily have to be relied on to score. And then you put Bowen in alongside Haller. Them chances we had today fall to Bowen. We score 3-4 goals, no problem. Antonio works very hard, does a lot of good things in the game. I know we're all very frustrated with Antonio now, so it would be easy to completely go off on the guy, but I don't think that would be fair either. I mean, look, he actually played very well outside of missing them chances. It's just he's finishing let him down, and because he's not a striker. So I think Antonio needs to move back to the right wing, and let's get Bowen up front with Haller. And that's a different game today if we switch positions of those two at half time even.
Yeah, really quickly, Ray. Yeah, like Neil was saying a couple weeks ago, Irish Tommy had his name as Bowen the Goat, so that's just the joke now.
Yeah, he almost got one again early on today.
Yeah,
he almost caught Leno with his pants down.
Yeah,
Leno wasn't ready for that shot. He didn't think it was coming, and that's one of the things I like about Bowen. He will pull the trigger, and he's got a really good shot on him. And Leno kind of made a bit of a hash of that attempted save too. It kind of deflected off him, and it should have smothered Bowen's shot, but it deflected off him and hit the post. And a little bit more luck, and Bowen might have scored there. But
I mean, we've seen him through matches already, and he's already proving to be one of the better players on the squad. And we're going to get into it as well, but I thought it was such a mistake too at the end, and it was confusing as hell to me as to why Moyes in the 90th minute would sub off Bowen for us when we're trying to go for it.
Yeah, that's a bizarre decision. It's a bizarre decision. I don't understand it. He's probably he's definitely the most natural goal scorer that we have. I think in those, even if you're going to leave it late, that's a time when you should be looking at saying, right, let's get Bowen in and around the penalty area. Let's move him into the centre.
Yeah,
that's when you take someone out of the midfield, and you just say, right, we're putting an extra man in and around the box. And I'm not sure what he thought Snodgrass or Anderson were going to do. I love Snoddy, and he works very hard for the team. Great, set piece deliveries and crosses and all that. But I mean, that's when you need people in there who are going to potentially get you a goal. I don't think Snoddy's going to do that, really, realistically. Anderson, okay, he's attacking, but Anderson's been dog shit all season.
Yeah,
and we're going to get to Anderson too. Anderson was on for a few minutes and he pissed me off.
Yeah,
there was a moment there towards the end of the game. Declan Rice was bombing forward with the ball, bombing forward from defensive midfield position, bombing forward with the ball, carrying it up towards Arsenal's box, and there was Anderson off to his left on the wing, jogging like a fucking show pony, jogging along, and here's Rice sailing past him.
Yep, I know exactly
with the ball, and I'm like, fuck you, Anderson. Yeah. Just fuck you now.
The thing that also annoys me more than anything in the world too, and Anderson was suffering or did it today as well. He's on the ground, he gets up and he's like slow while we have the ball, or he's trying to claim handball as we still have the ball, and I'm just like, no, focus on the attack. You're right outside the box. You try to get into a better position. I mean, I hate it when players just nonstop like moan, complain, try and call for handballs, even when your own team has the ball.
Yeah, I'm done with Anderson completely, and I did give him a pretty long leash because he'd had a decent season last season, but
he had a bad injury this season as well.
Yeah, granted, but he was shit before the injury.
Yeah,
No, and he had a little bit. He's had a little bit of time back. He's had plenty of time training now. He even got a start against fucking Liverpool. And he was dog shit in that game. And he pulled out of a 50-50 challenge in that game. It almost cost us a goal. Firmino shot just over the bar because of him. He comes on today and he's swanning around. Declan Rice is sailing past him. Declan Rice has put a shift in for 90 fucking minutes. And he's sailing past Anderson, coming up the field with the ball, trying to make something happen. And Anderson's just jogging up along the sideline. It's like, look, are you fucking kidding me, really?
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with him. I'd sell him in the summer. I don't give a shit. Anderson's a waste of space as far as I'm concerned. And I can't stand people that pull out of 50-50 challenges anyway. Can't have people on the pitch that do that. I don't give a shit how twinkly you think his toes are.
Yeah, I don't think we'll end up selling him in the summer. For me, I want to see him one more season because we saw what he has the potential to do in the first season, but this season he has just not looked like the same player at all. And I mean, granted, like you said, that you can chalk that up to potentially Pellegrini's tactics, now the injury, but he's back training now. You've had a good portion of the season. You need to be at a good point, but I mean, he just does not seem like he's got any confidence at all. For me, the reason I say one more season, he needs to have a reset in the summer and then see what he can offer next season.
I think he needs to reset his fucking attitude.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like
to be honest with you, I think. Listen, we understand players go through lows in form and in confidence. That happens to every player. We all know that, and they come through it. They come through the other end and they improve again and hopefully get back to their old selves. But there's no excuse for pulling out of 50-50 challenges, no matter what your form is. No matter what, if you're low in confidence, I mean, effort should be there regardless, right?
Yeah, and
effort is nothing to running is nothing to do with form. Going into challenges is nothing to do with form or confidence. You just do it because it's the very least that should be expected, regardless of any other factors. And we're not getting that from Anderson right now.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say too is, I mean, you look at Allaire as well, and like you can kind of compare a similar situation. He was dog shit the first half of the season, and Moyes comes in and he kind of benches him to reset or like give him a swift kick in the ass. Like, all right, you need to start playing better, otherwise you're going to be down here for the rest of the season. And I think Anderson is kind of going through something similar right now, where Moyes is saying, all right, we're giving you some time to rest and make sure you're good, get your attitude straightened out, and then we'll see about it. Because I mean, Fornals has been playing great as well. I mean, today, he was okay. Not one of his better performances, but he still wasn't bad. And right now, Anderson cannot go in over him. So it's one of those kind of situations where you just have to wait and see if he pulls out of this slump.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not arguing with anyone about Anderson's ability. We all know it's there.
Yeah.
It's just with me. Yeah, it's just with me. I mean, it's just a case of like, how long do you need? And to be honest, I'm kind of done with him. I'm done waiting around for him to get his fucking head straight or whatever it is he needs to sort out.
Yeah.
And like the bare minimum, like I said, is you go in and try and win the ball and challenge. You don't put out any player out 50-50 challenge never starts. I don't give a fuck who he is. If you're not putting the effort in and you're pulling out 50-50 challenges, I don't want to know about you, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even if he was Irish, Ray. Wouldn't want to know about the guy.
So I'm actually gonna. I had just thought about this. I'm gonna kind of equate it to American football real quick. I think what Anderson's might be kind of going through is what they call the sophomore slump, where a rookie comes in, he has a very good first season, and then the second season he's not nearly as good, and the third season is where it defines the rest of his career. I think that that's kind of a similar situation with Anderson right now. He's having this slump where he had a very good first year. Second year is just not doing it well. Next year is the one that'll determine long-term future with the club.
Well, look, ultimately it'll be for Moyes to decide. Look, if he decides to keep Anderson on beyond this summer, fine. I'm not going to cry about it.
Yeah.
And we'll see next season. But I'm personally done with him. I don't see how is it. Like, it's just going on too long for me, Tim. Or Chris.
Yeah.
It's just this is, we're almost through a full season here. He's done nothing, and people I see in the comments are making excuses. Oh, he had an injury, and he was shit before the injury. What did he do before the injury? Nothing.
Well, this season he his stats are 1 goal, 4 assists this season, and a yellow card.
Terrible.
Yeah,
absolutely terrible. Yeah, but anyway, look, I don't want this to be the Anderson show, but
really quickly,
look,
well, I will not. I'm not bringing that one up on stream.
But I don't know what you're seeing, and I probably don't want to know.
I'll say after the stream.
No worries. Okay, but look, as I said, that's Anderson. I think we'll bench that for now.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll come back to Anderson next week if he comes on.
Yeah.
But look, I thought today there were a lot of good performances actually. Defensively. Sorry.
I think overall it was a good performance. I mean, it's just that finishing that at this whole season.
Yeah, I thought defensively, I thought we were very good. I know we got stretched a bit at times, and we had we had to scramble defensively to keep them out, get important blocks in. There was some last ditch stuff, because Arsenal are good going forward. They're dangerous on the attack. But I thought we dealt with it very well, protected Fabianski very well, I thought. He didn't have too much to deal with. He did make a couple of really good saves, though.
Yeah.
Coming out and closing down the space, and made a couple of really great saves down low with his legs. So when he was needed, when he was called on, he made the saves he needed to save. But overall, we protected him very well. I think there were 2 shots on target Arsenal had in the whole game. It was very low. I think it was 2, maybe 3 max, something like that. I'm not sure, but it was very low. We had like 6 or 7 on target. We created, I think we had 14 attempts or something like that at goal, and they had, was it 6 or 7 attempts and got 2 on target or something like that. That tells you everything you need to know. So, are you bringing up the stats? Or?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right here. As I'm doing that though, I'm seeing that Burnley going into halftime are actually up on Tottenham 1-0.
Doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Doesn't surprise me. Soften them up for us for a couple of weeks' time, hopefully.
Sorry, my internet's
you're fine. But yeah, look, I thought defensively we were excellent, particularly Ogbonna again, and Diop had his moments too. Got in some great challenges, won some aerial duels. They're really coming along as a defensive partnership, Diop and Ogbonna. They seem to be improving as a pair every week. Like Diop the last couple of weeks now has been much more solid. He hasn't looked nearly as mistake prone. And I think they're forming a relationship back there at centre back, which is really important for us. And so you stick with those 2 every week now, and I think they'll only get stronger. It's great for a young centre back like Diop to have such an experienced campaigner like Ogbonna beside him. Who's played for Juventus, played for Italy. And to build defenders. In Italy, they know how to build centre backs. So that's great for Diop, and hopefully, those 2 will be our pairing for another couple of years, and that's looking more promising. And Ngakia did very well again. Fair play to the kid. And Sarah's a difficult guy to deal with. He's difficult to deal with. He's young. He's very talented. Fullback, and he gets forward at every opportunity. And I thought Ngakia, while he was stretched by him at times, I thought he dealt with it very, very well. So
hold on real quick. Yeah, Ray, absolutely. Yeah, this chat has devolved pretty quickly. Anyways,
we're back on track. We're back on track, Ray. I think we're back on track now. We're talking about the game, and we're done with Anderson for this week.
No, it's not that. I'll tell you.
You and the chat between you and him. Okay, all right.
Yeah. It's
no worries.
But
I was very happy defensively. I thought they did really well. All four. Cresswell. Okay, look, we know he's not a great fullback, but I thought he did enough today. Did his job well, and he got a lot of help from Fornells. To be fair to Fornells and Bowen, I thought they both gave great support to the fullbacks today, and that was important too, because I think they needed it, because they were going to be under pressure on the flanks.
Yeah.
And so fair play to Fornells and Bowen. They'll both maybe feel they didn't quite contribute enough going forward as much as maybe they would have liked. Particularly Fornells, but I think they both played well and helped out their fullbacks brilliantly and got forward if and when they could. And I thought they both had very decent games today.
Yeah, as Matthew actually said a bit ago, the defense definitely looked solid today. I thought that the entire back line looked very strong. I hate these guys in the chat right now. But
I'm glad I can't see any of this.
I be glad you're not, because I'm struggling to hold it in. But I saw Matthew just said this as well. The only change he would make is Souček for Noble, and I feel like Souček is what we needed.
Yeah, completely agree with that. That's the only change we need next week. That'll strengthen us again. I'm just Antonio. He annoys me. Yeah. And I love him, and he annoys me. It's this love-hate thing with Antonio. We're probably all the same. Bless him. He tries his heart out, and does he run for 90 minutes, and he causes real problems for people in the back. But then he just gets into positions where you think he's going to make something happen, and he fluffs it, and then you just hate him for a minute. He's so frustrating. But I'd have to think long and hard about Antonio next week, if I'm honest. I'd think strongly about switching Antonio back out to the right wing and putting Bowen alongside Haller. Give that a shot and see how it goes. But
I think that's a good shout, personally. Antonio definitely does well up the side, or on the wings, rather. And I think Bowen can fall back anywhere. Bowen was all over the place today. I mean, he, in a good way, I mean. He can play just about any position, it feels like to me. But, yeah, I think Antonio on the right is actually a good shout from you.
Yeah, and agree with Souček in for Noble. Souček's a better player than Noble, just to be honest about it, and it was great to see he was back so fast. We weren't sure, when exactly. We were hoping he'd be available for Wolves. We thought it might be a closer call than it's going to be, that maybe he would just start training this coming week. But it appears he's been in training for a little bit, and he was able to take his place on the bench today and was able to come on for a little bit. So clearly he's going to be good to go for 90 minutes against Wolves. Yeah. Especially his injury was a couple of weeks. You don't need to. That doesn't throw you off your game. Such a small injury. So it's good to go and put him in instead of Noble. Move Antonio out right. Put Bowen up top with Haller. And let's have a go at Wolves as well and see how we go. I think Wolves will be vulnerable next week. Actually, I know a lot of people are worried about the Wolves game. They rate Wolves as much as I do. Most people, I think.
They ended up drawing with Wolves. Brighton.
They struggled a bit at home to Brighton today, and they play in Athens on Thursday, in the Europa League. Now, I've been to Athens. I flew from London to Athens, and that's about 4.5 hours of a flight.
Yeah.
And then they've got to play Europa League, and then they've got to fly back, and then be ready for us on Sunday. So that's not easy. And they have to travel. They'll probably just go straight from Athens to London,
Yeah.
I suspect, and just stay in London till the game. But that's still a lot of traveling. It's tiring. Hopefully they'll get a tough game out there.
Yeah.
And have to really get pushed for 90 minutes out there. So there could be something in this for us. As good as Wolves are, we may not see the best of them next week. Fingers crossed.
Cheers, Ray. Sorry. Keep going.
Talk to you later, Ray. Stop distracting Chris.
That's what he said. He's off to work now. But yeah, I keep coming back to it. Definitely the toughest stretch of matches by far between Arsenal, Wolves, Chelsea, and Tottenham. And it's another one. Like we said, if we continue to play like we played against Liverpool, regardless of who it's against, we can have a shot.
Yeah, we spoke about this after the Southampton game. Remember, you were asking me, if I'm much more confident now about surviving, and I said I would just going to keep my powder dry and see what Moyes did away to Arsenal as regards the lineup and the formation. And I said I
think he got it spot on given the players that he had. I think it was the right choice to keep a unchanged side. But next week, we definitely need to put in Souček.
Yeah, there's no question Souček has to come in. And look, if Souček comes in, I mean, the only place he could go really is in place of Noble.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else you put him,
Yeah.
You wouldn't drop Fornells or Bowen or something like that. Unless he switches things up a little bit and drops Antonio, but I don't see him doing that. I think he'll feel Antonio had actually a very good game in open play, but just was piss poor on his finishing.
Yeah, everyone was.
But Haller has to take his share of the blame. That 2-on-1 on the break is not on Antonio, by the way. That's Haller's fault.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that pullback.
I think what I said to the guys in the bar was the exact thing I said to the guys in the bar was that everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Allaire went too far. He should have stayed back a bit. Antonio should have made a choice earlier whether he was going to shoot or if he was going to pass. And if he was going to make a pass, figure out where Allaire was first before just passing it.
Yeah, what happened there was Antonio assumed Haller was going to do what he should do, right? So he didn't look up. Antonio knew in his mind where Haller ought to be in that situation, right? It was the kind of no-brainer thing to do, right? He played the ball where he ought to be, and then he looks and he's, what the fuck are you doing up there? I mean, in that situation, that's kind of a no-brainer situation, Chris, because when you have Antonio coming down, the inside right channel, and you've got one defender between you. So David Luiz has to sell out. He has to sell out. He has to drive towards the 6-yard box and try and get himself between Antonio and Leno.
Yeah.
Right? Try and get a block on a shot or whatever. He has to sell out. And he did. He sold out. So if you're the other player, you don't follow fucking David Luiz in there because you're keeping Luiz between you and your teammate.
Yeah.
So he's got no pass. You hang back. You just literally stop running. And you hang back so that once David Luiz is gone, you've got all this space for your teammate to just roll the ball across, nothing about it. And Leno was stranded at the far post. And by the time the ball comes to you and you've shot towards the other post, there's no way he's getting across. So Haller, for some bizarre reason, decided to keep driving toward goal, keeping David Luiz between him and Antonio. So he gave Antonio no pass to make. Even if Antonio looks up, he can see he can't pass it square because Luiz will cut the pass out, and he can't pass it between Luis and Leno because there's not the space, and Leno will just dive on the ball. It has to be pulled back. So that was terrible from Haller, to be honest.
Yeah,
he has to know, like, to just hold his run there.
Yeah, it is a case of where everything that could have gone wrong went horrifically wrong. But I mean, that was the definition of today. I mean, anything that could have gone wrong went wrong, between whether it be the VA.
That was another beautiful through ball by Fornells to Spring Antonio.
Yeah,
he's really good at those. He's really good at those defense splitting passes where he can put lovely weight on it, gets the direction spot on. He just put Antonio right in the clear. So I was really impressed with that again.
Yeah, and actually, this is actually a very good point too. But the tactical changes by Moyes, I mean, they were just terrible today. I don't, like we said earlier, I don't understand why you bring off one of our best players in Bowden in the 90th minute, unless the only reason that I would do that is if we were up 1-0, because Snodgrass is a little bit better at getting back and defending. But other than that, I mean, that made no sense. The Souček one, that made sense, but it should have been earlier, 10, 15 minutes earlier. And then we still had one, and then the Anderson one, again, if you're going to put him on, don't put him on with like 5 minutes left. At that point, he has very little chance of making an impact.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's got the substitutions wrong. Like I said, I wouldn't have taken Bowen off. I'd have moved him into the centre with Haller. I would never have considered taking Bowen off. It's not like he was tired.
No,
he's 22. He's got to run all day. He's no problem. So there was no reason to take him off that I can see. It's not like you don't understand if he was having a bad game or something. You hold him off, but he was playing great. It was just a completely bizarre decision. Okay, I'm not a fan of Anderson, as we all know, but you can understand him bringing on Anderson as an attacking option on the wing. Maybe Anderson, he does have a quick feet and he does have skill, and maybe he'll make something happen. You can understand Anderson coming on again very late to be trying to bring on an impact sub when the clock's running down. So I think after Arsenal went ahead, immediately I'll be thinking, right, subs now.
Yeah,
let's get after this.
That's the logic.
We've still got some time to salvage this. I was watching it at a friend's house, actually, and right after the goal went in, I thought, right, now is when Moyes has to change this up. Whatever it is he wants to do, he needs to do it now, and let's get after these guys, get Bowen in the centre. If he wants to bring on Lanzini, let him bring them on. Make the changes, go attacking. May as well lose 2-0 as 1-0.
Yeah.
Let's try and get back in the game. I don't get as obsessed with the goal difference thing as a lot of other people, Chris. May as well lose 2-0 as 1-0, getting after it and trying to pen Arsenal back and trying to get back in this thing. We'd already shown we were perfectly capable of creating chances. So, unfortunately, he got everything right today, Moyes, as regards the formation lineup by not messing with it. But just unfortunately got the subs wrong.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say too, this is a side comment, and I'll get into my main point. But like Jess said, actually, most results went for us. It seems like when we want results, like when the matches that results go our way, we lose, and when they don't go our way, we win. That gets tiresome for me. But I when I was in the bar, I looked up the lineup again, and the only forward subs that we had on the bench were Anderson and Snodgrass. Where does happen to Ajeti? Why is Moyes just constantly neglecting?
Lanzini was there, right?
Yes, he was. I actually forgot about him. But I mean, Ajeti has never been given a chance to prove himself at the club. He's only given him, I think, this season he maybe has 50 minutes total, and it just feels like we're writing him off. Like, for me, unless there's something massively wrong with him on the training pitch, we're massively writing him off because that's a backup striker we could be utilizing. Well, there's your cat.
Sorry, Chris. I think you can guess what happened there.
What we were talking about before the stream.
Yeah, exactly what we spoke about. Bloody cats. I know my screen's gone all weird. Hang on. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Bloody cats. But they do that on purpose because they're arseholes. But, yeah, the Ajeti thing, Ajeti, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but we haven't seen much of him. So as fans, it's difficult for us to judge him. We just haven't seen enough to make any kind of determination. But we only had 2 forwards in the squad today. One of them, Haller, was up top, but the other one was on the right wing. Proper, people who are considered proper strikers. Now I know Bowen can play right wing, no problem, but he's also a striker. But it's hard to know with Ajeti. We haven't seen enough of him as fans to know how good he is, really. Look, Moyes sees him all the time on the training ground. So it's difficult to second guess Moyes. It's difficult to second guess Moyes when we don't see the guy, every day. Look, maybe he's not good enough. Maybe he's just not good enough, and it shows in training.
And that's what I was like. If that's all it is, like he's just, they don't see his any quality from him on the training pitch. But it is kind of worrisome when you don't have a backup for Haller. Like what would have happened if Haller got injured today? Who would have, besides switching Antonio to a forward, unless you want to change the full formation around? I mean, you don't have anyone to substitute in.
Well, if Haller went down, he probably just moves Bowen in there and brings Snoddy or someone into the right hand side. So yeah, but yeah, there's not much after that. We don't have much after that. So look, Ajeti would still be the emergency forward for the rest of this season, but I don't think we'll be seeing him beyond this season. To be honest, I think he'll be moved on in the summer.
And I think that is an area that needs addressed, is the backup striker. Whether I know I've seen saw a few people on Twitter talking about bringing on Xande Silva as a backup striker to Haller. Whether it be that or whether we go out and get someone, but that is a position that we need to solely address, or very seriously address, because it is worrisome when you don't have that backup striker.
Yeah. Silva, again, I don't know. I just don't see enough of him. I know he's doing well at under 23s, but that's like Premier League 2 under 23s, and that's a whole different ball game. Just because he's doing well down there and scoring well. We thought the same thing about Tony Martinez.
That's actually
was playing really well down there. Scoring goals down there and all that, but he wasn't good enough. Most of them will prove to never be good enough. It's just a fact of life. The vast majority of them just won't make it at Premier League level. Whether Silva's good enough or not, I don't know. I know he's been out. He had a illness, a lot of illness and injury and stuff. So he's only recently back. Again, that's something, unfortunately, we can't assess because we just don't see him, week in, week out. So at the moment, he's behind Ajeti, I would imagine, and Ajeti would be the emergency striker if Haller and Bowen say were to go down. God forbid.
God.
But Silva, I just don't know. I don't know where he's at. The only way to find out was if Moyes thinks he's good enough and gives him an opportunity to make some appearances off the bench, and then maybe he might have a look at him in pre-season, in some pre-season friendlies. But it's hard to know with Silva. I suspect he'll be another one that just doesn't make the cut, to be honest. But more than likely, we're just going to have to buy a proper backup centre forward in the summer from somewhere. Ideally, a younger, talented player who doesn't mind waiting for his chance and who's happy to develop, with a senior team in the Premier League. Make his substitute appearances, maybe play in the cup or something, and then develop like that. Someone young and talented who has the time to be patient and isn't going to get pissed off because he thinks he should be playing because he's in his prime and he's good and all this. And you don't want a journeyman looking forward either who's collecting a paycheck. So
yeah,
if we can get a young talented forward in the summer who's happy to serve his apprenticeship at West Ham, that might be the way to go. But we do need one. I think Jesse's going to be there.
Yeah, I have seen some reports in the past week that if we do manage to stay up, then David Moyes is going to look primarily at the championship to bring in some reinforcements, some actual youth to inject into the squad. But I mean, with regards to Silva, I had forgotten about this, but going into the season, he actually did have this massive or some sort of serious disease where he had several surgeries and he was out for quite a long time, and he's already back.
Yeah, he was pretty sick. He was pretty sick for a while there. Yeah, he was out for a long time, but he looks to be flying it again. So good luck to him. I wish him well. Hopefully proves me wrong. Sorry,
I said hopefully we can see him in the big time. Hopefully we can see him when he comes up. Or if
of course, we'd all love to find out he's actually really great young striker. We'd all love that to happen. He's a good kid. He's very likable, Silva. He seems to have a very good attitude and he seems to be very professional. So it would be nice to see him succeed. We like these kind of happy endings, don't we? So fingers crossed for him. But like I said, with the majority, it doesn't pan out for them at Premier League level. But someone there is saying they think we'll stay up.
Yep.
It was, but look, if you were forced to put your life savings on it, you would back us to survive, given the performances we're putting in. The thing in the last 3 games, with the formation we're playing now, with the players we've got on the pitch now, very unlucky not to get something at Anfield. Very unlucky. Beat Southampton confidently and pretty comfortably, and then just shot ourselves in the foot today at the Emirates, and another game we just absolutely should have taken 3 points from. So we could be sitting here talking about 7 points from 3 games.
At least.
Just as easily. Unfortunately, it's only 3, but we could be talking 7 just as easily. And I think Jazz has got a great point there. It really helps us that our kind of relegation rivals have got some horrendous run-ins.
So
I know Villa and Bournemouth. I think Jazz just said Villa and Bournemouth particularly horrendous, and I've seen that. So that could be our saving grace.
So kind of pivoting then. So we have Wolves next Sunday. How do you think we'll end up doing in that one?
I'm a bit more optimistic than a lot of people for that game. I know a lot of people are a bit scared of Wolves. No, look, they're a very good side. They've got some really good ballers in there. They can pass and move the ball. Obviously, Adama Traore can be a bit of a handful to deal with.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit more confident in this game than a lot of people. I think we actually might turn them over, if I'm honest. I think we might beat Wolves. The reason being, they weren't great today at home to Brighton. Relatively poor. And as I said, they have to go to Athens on Thursday.
Yeah.
They play in Athens on Thursday. And then presumably they'll go straight from there on Friday back to London and just stay in London. It's a lot of travelling. They're going to have a tough game out there in Athens.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a cakewalk. They're going to be, have to go at it for 90 minutes out there, and then come back all the way back to London. And then a couple of days later, they have to play us at our place. So, I'm a bit more optimistic. I think we might beat Wolves. I don't think we'll be getting Wolves at anything like their best.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I hope now, look, they might make a complete fucking fool of me next Sunday. I don't know. But I just suspect we won't see Wolves at their best.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more confident too. This match hurts. the Liverpool match just kind of made me feel sick. This match just hurts because we definitely were the better team in this one. And if we continue to play like that, results are going to come. And then you couple that with our opposition's lineup. I think we're going to be fine this season. Where we end up, I'm not really sure, but I think we could go to Wolves and get at least a point. I think that is an entire possibility. But I definitely am more optimistic than I have been in recent weeks.
Yeah, I am too. Like I said to you last week, it was a great win at home to Southampton last week. But I said to you, I just wanted to wait and see how Moyes approached the game against Arsenal. And I said to you, I'll allow myself to feel a lot more confident if he goes at Arsenal and has a go with them, puts out the same players, same formation. Then I'll really believe that Moyes will stick with this now, and that would make me feel a lot better. And I do feel a lot better, despite how the game went today. We shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, look, it happens. We just have to dust ourselves down. You know what we say at West Ham, Chris? Season starts next week. So season starts next week, buddy. So clearly now, look, he's going to put the same team more or less. Maybe Souček comes in, but he'll put the same team, same formation out home to Wolves next week. We'll have a go with them too, and we'll get at them as well, and we'll create chances. Hopefully, take our chances this time and get another win. So I'm definitely more optimistic. Particularly, look, we've got a little tough run of games that we're in the thick of at the minute. We had Liverpool, Arsenal today, Wolves, Tottenham, Chelsea coming up as well. We're in that little thicket of really tough games, and we're doing really well, I think. Okay, maybe not picking up the points we'd like, but we're doing a lot better now. I think this formation is working. The personnel he's using is working by and large.
It's just a matter
when we're not missing sitters.
Yeah.
Like I say, like once we get through this little knot of fixtures that are quite difficult, the last 6 are actually much more negotiable.
Yeah. If 4 matches, if somehow we can get 6 points out of it, that's I think that's a win.
Yeah. Listen, I've said this to you last week too. I'm not scared of any of these teams we're going to play. I told you I wasn't scared of Arsenal last week. I told you we could go there and have a go at them and get something, that they weren't great, and it was proven today. I'm not scared of Wolves next week. We're at home. They've got travelling to do. They've got Europa League games to play. They weren't great today. I'm not scared of Wolves. We can absolutely turn them over next week at home. We could get a win there. Going to Tottenham, not scared of Tottenham. You saw Tottenham this weekend.
Yeah, they're down.
What are they? They were 1-0 down at half time to Burnley.
It's actually, now looking at it, it's 1-1 at just before the 16-minute mark. 1-1.
So so what? Tottenham Burnley's 1-1. Not afraid of Tottenham. Not afraid of going to 3-point lane. Then Chelsea at home. Chelsea blow hot and cold. They can be very good on their day, but they can be very, very ordinary as well. So not particularly scared of Chelsea. So listen, they look on paper like, oh Jesus, and another time you might be dreading, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. Not this season, I don't think. I think we can approach all of those games quite positively, feeling that we can get something from those games. We might be doing quite well. Who knows when we hit those final 6?
Yeah, and I'll update it too that Tottenham goal actually came from a penalty. So, it's not. I know they're.
Tottenham are quite blunt in attack.
Yeah.
They're quite blunt in attack. You can keep them out. Well, I didn't see the penalty, but again, it's not a goal from open play. That they've scored. So they're missing Son, they're missing Kane, they sold Eriksen. They're struggling to create chances and score goals. So they're kind of almost completely reliant up there on Lucas Moura.
Yeah.
It's not good for them. And so I'm not afraid of them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we'll go there and beat them. I'm not saying, look, of course we could go to Tottenham and lose 1-0 or 2-1 or whatever. Of course we could. I'm just saying there's no reason we can't go and get something.
Hang on, I'm just checking out something, Jazz.
Dele Alli's a fraud, Jazz. Dele Alli's a fraud.
Yeah, they
Jazz
have.
was talking about me.
Um, I Jazz actually they've lost their last 4 matches in all play.
Yeah. What are we afraid of?
I mean, that's
Just,
pretty incredible in itself.
yeah.
It's
So
very.
yeah, like I think we'll be okay. I think Moyes is got us on the right track now.
I think that
I'm very happy to very happy to say so.
it could be an easy 3 points. I'm not saying easy as in like, oh, I expect us to win, but it's a very, very possible game to win.
Yeah, you're saying we could easily win that game.
Yeah.
Not that we win it easy, but that we could easily win it. Yeah, all these games coming that are left for this season. The way we're playing, you'd have to be confident that going into all those games that we can come out with something. Listen, I said to you last week, one of the things that I said was hugely in our favour, and it's a little ironic that I'm going to repeat it now after today, but one of the things that's really in our favour when you look at ourselves and the other teams around us down there is that we have got genuine, real, heavy firepower.
Yeah.
We've got firepower. We showed it today. We got at them. We created a lot of chances. On another day, we stuck 4 past Arsenal today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we had one of those days where we just weren't at it up front and we just missed bloody sitters that we'd normally put away. On another day, we beat Arsenal 4-0 today. But we have the firepower. We put 3 past Southampton last week. I'm convinced we'll put a couple past Wolves next week. The firepower is there. Any of those other teams down there, if they were offered our kind of front line, say if they were offered, like Fornals, Bowen, Haller, Antonio, they'd bite your hand off to have those players on their side, just to try and fire them out of trouble. I mean, so that's in our favour too.
Let's be honest too. I mean, there was a reason why going into this season, and there were people lumping us in with the potential of finishing in the top 6 this season. I mean, we have the quality, we have the personnel. It's just this season has not gone our way. This is when it needs to now.
Yeah, you just wonder, if we'd imagine if we had this team that we've got now. Let's say with Souček in there, put Souček into that team we had out there today. And maybe have good luck, really good luck on the injury front for once, for a season, and had that formation, that team out all season. Possibilities are there. We could be doing easily what Sheffield United have done, no problem.
I can't really remember Sheffield's team too well, but if I remember correctly from when we played them last, I mean, I think we have just as good, if not easily a better team on paper than they do. It's just about
on paper we have there's no question we have a better team than Sheffield United on paper. That's an absolute given. Absolute given.
Yeah.
We just haven't utilised it well enough this season, particularly under Pellegrini. Look, I have to give Moyes some credit. It's not an easy situation that he came into. A lot of discord at the club and players who were in a very low ebb. Some injuries to deal with too, some players out, stuff. But look, if Moyes continues as he is at the moment with that team, with that formation, with the positivity of getting after teams, and I think the fact that he's done that at Anfield and at the Emirates now means he's going to. There's no reason now to think that he would just revert back to 5 at the back or anything like that. I think he's just going to go for every game now. I think he has stumbled on the right formation and the right personnel by hook or by crook, however it happens. Doesn't matter. We're there now, and I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was shortly after the West Brom match where we crashed out of the FA Cup. I had lost all hope. I didn't think that there was any hope for us at all, and I'm starting to actually believe, or I'm really confident now that we're going to stay up just because of the mix of all the factors, the personnel we have, the matches that we have, as well as our opponents or our competitions matches.
Yeah, I was at my lowest ebb as regards our Premier League survival after the City game.
Yeah. I think that was
I
actually
was,
yeah.
yeah, I was really, really worried after that game. Really worried. I thought playing like that, we're not going to beat anyone. We won't beat anybody playing like that. We're going to lose every fucking game.
Yeah.
You know, I was really worried that we were going to go down. But after these last 3 games, Liverpool, Southampton, and Arsenal, I mean, my outlook has swung around completely. The same way that the team's outlook has swung around completely. The whole thing is just more positive now, and thankfully, you know, there's a lot more optimism around. Obviously, like I said, we're all incredibly frustrated with today. How we allowed that game to turn into a loss was awful because we played so well. We outplayed them at their place, created numerous chances, and fluffed them every time. Just fluffed our lines today, unfortunately. On another day, like I say, we win that 4-0. But
yeah,
you know, but we can still take a huge amount of positivity out of that game today, Chris. Huge amount. There's an awful lot to be positive about right now, including, dare I say it, David Moyes.
Yeah.
You have to give credit when it's due, and he's due the credit. Okay, I wasn't too hot on his substitutions today. I think he got those wrong.
The biggest.
But look, if he keeps getting the formation and the lineup right, if he brings Souček in, for example, for Noble next week, and maybe moves Antonio out to the right, puts Bowen up alongside Haller, something like that. You know, that'd be great too. That'd be a positive move. You know, Antonio isn't a finisher. Antonio can do great things for us still out on the right. You know, he plays great out there, and he tracks back. He works hard. He'll still protect Ngakia, get back and help him out, and he'll do his damage going forward. Still, he'll get his balls into the box, but we'll have Bowen inside there.
Yeah.
So when the ball falls to Bowen, he'll finish.
Yeah.
He'll score the goals that will get us the points, get us the wins, get us the draws, and I think fire us away from the relegation zone before it even gets to kind of squeaky bum time going into the last couple of games. You know, hopefully by then we're kind of thinking, yeah, we'll be all right. Yeah.
Yep, but until then, for me, we just got to take it match by match. Obviously, next week is Wolves, so we got to all the guys got to focus all of their attention on that. Don't look for any more forward than the next match in front of you. Take it right now. With us being out of the relegation zone, we can, in essence, control our own destiny. If we keep winning, we're going to be fine. If we lose, then we're going to have to hope and pray that results go our way, which I do not want to do. I never like being in a situation where we have to rely on our competition and our opponents. But yeah, so
the good thing at the moment is that it looks like we're going to have stability till the end of the season. You know, it should be relatively straightforward for Moyes now. He knows his team. He knows his formation. You just do your training during the week. You get ready for Wolves and you know, have a look at Wolves, be ready for them and what they like to do, and make sure we can defend properly against them. And then put your team out and have them go at it again. So hopefully we can stay injury-free now for the rest of the season. We won't pick up any key injuries. Fingers crossed. And hopefully it'll be relatively plain sailing. Hopefully.
All righty. Well, we're coming up here on the hour mark, so I think we've kind of exhausted all we can from this match. So I want to thank Tommy as always for coming on and joining me here. You can always please follow Tommy on Twitter. Hilarious dude. You can also follow me on Twitter with my username here. And until next Sunday when we face Wolves, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.